and they would have failed before they even get into the interview room. They would not stand a chance.
大家好，歡迎返嚟 Reynolds Family 嘅 channel。話咁快，我哋而家就到咗 Christmas period。哇，太高啦！今年棵樹。上年嘅呢個時間，見唔見到 Noah？其實我哋差唔多準備緊返香港探爹哋媽咪。Cheers！ 就諗返起哥哥 Noah 喺 Finley 呢個4歲半嘅年紀嘅時候，我哋就好 intensely 咁準備緊佢去考小一。哇！咁我諗好多由小朋友嘅大家都好明白呢個緊張嘅感覺。有睇開我哋 channel 嘅大家應該都知道，爸爸 Laurence 以前喺香港係喺一間名校度做老師。當年有爹哋專業嘅幫助底下 ，Noah 其實考得入幾間都好好嘅小學，所以有個突發奇想。
Can you read this for me, please?
The boy played with the ball.
幾日前啦，我就叫老公去準備一個 mock interview， 睇下喺英國長大嘅細路，如果要去考香港水準嘅小一面試嘅時候，合唔合格？
You're going to sit down.
最後老公都會透露一下老師先知嘅面試秘密。
The amount of kids I saw in the interview process who had clearly come to us in the afternoon, they had no chance.
想知就快嚟睇下呢個 vlog 啦。
睇下媽咪啊！
而家做翻媽咪有冇啊？ Hello。
Good timing. Just finished another of my online lessons.
你記唔記得我幾日前要你做嘅一件事
About what?
？The mock interview。
Oh, that!
Okay, Mr. Reynolds。
Mr. Reynolds. It's been a couple of years since I've heard that.
你介唔介意同我哋講，以你嘅經驗，當你喺香港做老師嘅時候，個 interview process 係大概點樣？
Still have nightmares about some of these. Okay, so I'm not going to lie to anyone. Year 1 interviews to get into top schools are pretty ruthless. This is based on my experience of working in what was a really, really good school, also quite a famous school and a very popular school in Hong Kong. The reality is your child is ultimately going to be up against thousands of other children. One year we had almost 5,000 children for interview 1. Group interviews, so I guess that's what we're going to focus on today. So yeah, for a lot of parents, I imagine this is an extremely stressful process. As soon as your kids are born in Hong Kong, you're already thinking about which school you can get them into, right?
No， 你一知道自己大肚有 ultrasound 已經可以攞嗰張嘢去嗰個學校。
Sorry. As soon as the child is conceived,
Proof of life.
the interview does have a lot of components to it. So little Finley, bless him, he's not had practice for this like Noah had. But what I'm going to show you is actually the practice should be something that you're doing with kids every day in readiness for when interview 1 comes around. So I guess the best thing to do is to show you what that interview process will be like, and Finley is going to do it.
咁我哋同可愛小 Finley 做呢個 interview 之前，我好想 remind Daddy 同埋大家 ，Finley 係喺英國一個好唔同嘅教育系統下長大。So Noah 幼稚園嘅時候已經係坐喺台、坐喺凳，有功課做。點解咁夜仲做功課嘅？
今朝冇做。
乖唔乖？
唔乖。
Finley 喺英國嘅返學日子係用
inquiry-based learning, more interactive play, which is very important for some schools in Hong Kong too.
但係你話傳統香港嘅小一面試，即係要行得正、企得正，叫你喐就唔喐，唔講嘢就唔講嘢啦。I don't know if Finley can do that.
So ultimately, can a kid in the UK actually pass Hong Kong Year 1 interview?
我俾3個 tips 你。OK， 1保持冷靜，好冷靜。2冇搞搞震，坐翻。最後咩呀？答晒所有問題。My 問題。Good luck, lucky handshake. Bye. 加油。
Come in!
Yeah.
So, welcome to the school, everyone. Really good to have you. The first thing we're going to do today is do a bit of a song and dance. So, can you show me your best singing and best dancing?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Mommy shark, do 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 do. Mommy shark, do 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 do. Mommy shark.
So that's a real life example of what we've actually had to do. So that song gives me nightmares. Played it 8 times a day for 4 days in a row. 9 to 5?
Baby shark, baby shark.
Okay, when I call your name, you're going to take a seat with one of the teachers and you are going to go and do some English or some Chinese. When your turn is over, you're going to sit down and you're going to draw a nice picture. But you must be very quiet unless you're with the teacher, okay?
Okay. 花花 flower.
呢一朵係乜嘢花嚟㗎？
How are you, Finley?
Good.
So, I'm going to do some reading and I'm going to ask you some questions, okay? Are you ready? Can you read this for me, please?
The boy played with the ball,
Very good.
and the boy fell on the floor.
Very good. I'm going to ask you a question. How many balls are in the picture?
1, 2, 3, 4, 12.
12. Very good. If I add 2 more balls, how many balls would there be?
13, 14.
Well, that was very good, Finley. Thank you. Could you go and continue your drawing now, please?
Okay.
咁我唔係老師啦，但係 Mr. Reynolds 啱啱同我講咧，下一個環節咧就係中文老師會用中文做翻啱啱一模一樣嘅環節。你叫咩名啊？咁我就唔好嘥大家時間啦，佢就唔係好識睇咁深嘅書。我會讀呢一版俾你，然後問你問題，知唔知道？
知道。
我喜歡鴨子、兔子、大獅子，不喜歡小蚊子。盧燕海，我喜不喜歡小蚊子？
不喜歡。
我喜不喜歡兔子？
喜歡。
好好。我唔係媽咪，我係老師，又唔準攬㗎。I mean, obviously 我唔係老師啦 so 呢一個可能唔係好準確，但係 I'm proud of you。而家去翻真正 interview。
Yeah, realistically, that's not what happens. He reads for you. A for effort, but I think that teacher definitely has a favourite.
好啦，小朋友，我哋而家咧就要執翻整齊啲紙筆筆，咁我哋咧就係時候要 say bye bye 啦。但係我哋講再見之前咧，想唔想聽歌多一次？
Noah's words, stay calm. Okay, well done everyone. You're free to go. That was so good. So, see you and have a nice day. Follow the teacher. I'm sure you get away with holding hands.
睇下媽咪呀。
而家做翻媽咪有冇啊？
Time to analyse performance. Very strange, isn't it? I think he did a really good job, actually.
Yeah.
But it was very much a mock interview. The biggest difference, he wasn't in a group of children, so you don't necessarily see how he's going to be amongst a group of children. It's very important that they don't come across as hyperactive, that they're not losing their calm and composure just because they're in a new environment. Because first days of school, obviously you're going to be in a new place. Can you be composed? Which is obviously very difficult for a 4-year-old, 5-year-old.
我覺得成個 interview process 係一個 learning curve 嚟嘅，因為我記得第一間學校我帶 Noah 去 interview 嘅時候啦，係有個 indoor playground， 然後 Noah 第一件事就 beeline 去個 playground， 但係其他小朋友就冇咁做。我記得喺嗰刻我諗，其實 Noah 未面試之前，其實係咪已經 fail 咗個 interview？
Yeah, but this is where it's really important to also do research on the school. For example, like an ESF school, which uses the PYP program, which is a lot more inquiry-based, then children are given more freedom to be more interactive and learn through curiosity. But if it's a more traditional school where you're expected to be able to sit still, you're not really going to want children who are bouncing around and wanting to touch things. That would be a bit of a no. That's a don't.
咁即係 Finley fail 定係 pass？
It wasn't an outright fail because he did a little bit of bouncing. The song was used to see if children can actually interact with the video and enjoy it, but at the same time not lose control. If you're dancing and you're staying in your own personal space and you're smiling and you're really singing along, teachers love that. If you start knocking into other students and actually start running around, then you've lost composure. That means your child is probably not going to get too far. In some situations, this is where it can really be ruthless. Your child may have failed the interview before they've even stepped into the interview room. The children would be with their parents in the auditorium, and when it was their turn, they would line up and teachers would escort the line of children into the classroom. 99% of the children would be absolutely fine, but occasionally you would have a child who would not be able to stay in line for a 2-minute walk, and they would have failed before they even get into the interview room. They would have to go through the whole interview, but they would not stand a chance.
哇，真係好嚴謹。
So the interview itself, if it was an English-only interview, he would definitely get into the school.
Yay!
On the other hand, the Chinese.
但我哋冇中文老師就我哋唔知道做唔做到，you know？ 你可唔可以同大家分享下秘密貼士？
Okay, number one seems very obvious. Be prepared. Every school does the interview process slightly differently, so you cannot know what the interview is going to be. So how can you prepare for that? Well, it all starts as early as possible. So when your children are really, really young, the most important thing you can do with them, whether it's in Chinese or English, is read aloud with them every single day. And also, to develop comprehension skills, ask questions about the reading. Oh, how does that character feel? Or, oh, what's happening here? Just develops a little bit of critical thinking and it goes a long, long way. You can also practice math skills. So for example, if your child is playing with the blocks, oh, count all the blocks up. Take 2 away, how many are gone? Or add a couple in, how many now? Gamify everything so that it becomes a part of every single day for the child, and you're actually practicing very important interview skills without saying this is for an interview. Trying to drill interview specific skills because you've got an interview in 6 months, it's too late.
小朋友其實係好聰明嘅，如果佢 feel 到你好緊張，想佢坐喺度做作業啊、練啲嘢嘅時候，佢哋可能會好抗拒，令所有嘢都好輕鬆愉快咁樣，佢哋就反而學得好啲。
Schools are also looking for soft skills like, is the child independent? Can they clean up after themselves? A little empathy goes a long way as well. Can they share? Maybe if a teacher asks, how are you? Can the child be genuine enough to say, oh, I'm very well. How are you, Mr. Reynolds? It's very cute and it makes the child stand out. Tip 2. Do not have your child interview for 2 or more schools on the same day. The amount of kids I saw who had clearly come to us in the afternoon after going to another interview in the morning, they had no chance. They were so tired and they weren't able to perform nearly as well as they could have done because clearly they'd used all of their energy on whatever they'd been doing in the morning. So on the day of the interview, keep the schedule clear. Don't go to one final preparation class. Don't go and do loads of sports. Make sure that the child is well rested and fresh for the interview.
有時我哋做大人低估咗壓力對小朋友造成嘅影響。
So that feeds into tip 3 a little bit. Be on time. Being too early can be just as bad. Some parents bringing their children in an hour before their interview time so that they would be sat in the big auditorium for the longest time, and by the time it comes to the interview, the child is so restless they don't have a chance. The most important tip I can give you is to let your child sleep well, eat well, dress well. Let the child dress comfortably. So many parents seemed to think it was a good idea to send their children in their Sunday best with shirts, blazers, bow ties, frilly dresses. It doesn't add anything to the chances of getting into a school.
做媽媽見到仔仔着住恤衫戴住煲呔嘅時候好可愛啦，好似一個小大人。但其實咧，你好多時會見到佢哋咁樣喐動嘅時候會戚住咧，佢哋會好唔舒服。經一個緊張嘅環境底下，佢哋可能會覺得成件事好有壓迫感。
They're irritable, they're distracted, they can't focus on the interview.
舒服輕鬆，一早做咗準備，唔使臨急抱佛腳，呢個就係好重要嘅成功秘訣。
As a parent, you just want what is best for your child and you want to get them into the best school. But the most important thing is do not allow your stress to show because then the child will feel it as well. I would love to actually know people's experience of this because it's a huge thing. So let us know your family experiences.
咁希望爹哋老師今次嘅 mock interview 同埋 secret tips 就可以幫到大家啦。咁今日我除咗媽媽之外做埋老師好攰啦。So I'll see you guys next time. Bye!